What's the competition like, Coach, out there?
Competition's good. It's kind of a continuation from the spring. You guys just got done talking to Wesley. I think he's come in and continued where he was. I think he made a smooth transition. When you lose a guy like Ashton Gelati and then a guy behind him like Ramon, I mean, it's a big void, but I think he's come in and really solidified that. Real happy with the two guys kind of behind him right now, and Micah Carter, a good spring for us, and then Justin Beatles, who we added in the summertime. I think those guys are battling, so I like all three of those guys over there. And like I say, right now Wesley is the first guy, but I feel comfortable playing those other two guys too. And you know me, I like to play a lot of guys, get a lot of guys ready. So inside, two veterans in Jordan and Renee, but then behind them again, Denzel came in from Old Dominion. He is tough, he is physical, and Jordan and Renee know that they just can't have a bad day, right? They can't just wake up and feel like, well, I'm just going to get through today because Denzel's going to get in there. I mean, I really look at us, if you go to the Leo spot, then you got Clev and Sticks. I really feel like we got six starters. And then those other two ends, Micah and Justin, are not far off. Jerry Lawson's not far off. They're just technique-wise, maybe not where those other guys are in front of them. So pleased so far. We've got some younger guys that are coming along too. In that next group. Selah's a guy that I think rebounded from the Achilles. Now he's a little hobbled right now with a calf, but he'll be back. And Eric Hazard's a young guy that I think can do some things and help us. So and there's others.
With Clev, we talked to him last week, and he seems like a good leader, but he's got a lot of different skills. It seems like he fits in well with what you like to do, being physical and aggressive and kind of attacking.
Yeah, he's a nonstop guy. He's like the Energizer Bunny out there, right? I mean, he's just he's full go all the time. When guys get lazy parts of the game, when the game drags, that's when he's going to beat his opponent and come up with big plays for you. So that's what I love about him. And he's a very vocal guy in our room. He will tell guys when they're not meeting the standard, and that's what I personally need. That's what we need. That's what Coach Brown needs from a leadership standpoint, because, as you know, I mean, obviously coaches aren't always around, right? And we're not there. I'm not going to be on the field with him, so he does a really good job. But those other guys do a good job in their own way too. Wes, Renee, George's not a real loud guy, but they all kind of accept those leadership roles in their own way. But Clev is, again, nonstop all the time, and he does a good job communicating with our guys.
Speaking of Clev, at that Leo spot, AJ Green's been getting a lot of reps there as well.
Yep.
Going back to spring, how has that competition between those two kind of shaped out? How has that kind of lifted the position as a whole?
It's daily competition. And I told our guys from the outset, there's nobody good enough in this room to just show up and think that they've got the job for the rest of the season. You got to bring it every day. And that's where, Denzel comes into play, and that's where, if you're Clev, AJ comes into play, right? And then, Justin Beatles, and really like where Micah is. Again, as a continuation from the spring. So we've got guys that are maybe technically number 2 right now, but they're close. They're on these guys' heels, and the competition is the coach's best friend. So, but specifically at that Leo spot, I mean, it seems like every day in camp so far, I'm just going back and forth, and it's providing good competition. They both want to be out there with the ones, and so they're both they're responding the right way.
Quick follow-up, how has Sticks looked so far in fall camp?
Good. He came in at 209 a couple years ago, and now he's, we want him to stay over 250, and I told him that today one of the reasons I didn't put him with the ones is because he didn't get his weight back up from Saturday's practice. So there's just more motivation. It's part of your job. Let's be honest. Nowadays, these guys, it's just not a scholarship and a training table meal, right? And so there are revenue streams for these guys And that's great. That's great. I wish I could go rewind and go back and get a little bit myself, right? I'm all for it. But it's part of your job. Like, your job description is a lot of different things. And so maintaining the weight that we want you at is important. And I don't have a lot of ammunition on my end, but I can control who's in there at certain times and who's going with the ones and certain things. So that is a motivating, and that's what I did. I told him right before we went out there, I was like, you should have done a better job on your off day, a day that we didn't practice, getting your weight back up where it needs to be. And he responded the right way. So we'll see where he's at tomorrow.
You guys use the word violent as trying to describe how you want this defensive line to play. How do you instill or create that type of mindset?
You talk about it, you emphasize it, but then we say, look, it's got to show up on video. If not, it's just a slogan. It's just a talking point, right? So when you have old clips with an Ashton, with a Ramon, that they're actually doing it, now you show the young guys, this is how it looks. This is how it looks. And I just think the emphasis, right? You can't just talk about it day one and just think it's going to show up. Some days are great. Some days you see the violence and the physicality show up, and other days not so much. You know, we're the nail and not the hammer. On some days, we go against a really good old line that, you know, Richard believes in a lot of the same things he's teaching. So it's a great back and forth. We get great competition every day. So, but to me, it's just constant emphasis, and you preach this has got to show up on the video. If this truly is part of our standard.
Mark, you mentioned obviously losing Ashton and Ramon, obviously tough to lose players like that, but what advantages are there, I guess, to have so many new guys coming in and competing for those spots?
I think the hunger coming in and the opportunities, you know, the guys see that they're like, oh shoot, man, they lost half their room, which we did after that Sun Bowl, right? Like half those guys, and Ashton was before then, right? So I just think the opportunity, and I think, you know, to take it to another level is not just an opportunity to play, but opportunity to play at a place like Louisville, where Jeff Brom has got this place operating at a high level. You know, play on a team that potentially can compete for a championship. So I think it's those things. And that's college football for you, right? I mean, you just don't have guys forever, right? You could add Des Teller to that mix, right? Like those three guys play a lot of football together. You know, Jared Dawson was part of that group. Now we know he's still playing, but I mean, those guys have been here a long time and you know, developed a legacy, and it doesn't last forever. But that's what I think. It's a combination of the opportunity and the type of program you're going to play for.
All right. You mentioned Eric. You like some of the what's happening with some of those younger guys? I mean, it's early.
I do. I just think, you know, and we're not really being fair to him because he really repped at defensive end, and we're kind of repping him on both sides. So we're probably throwing a lot at him right now from a mental standpoint. We did that with Ramon. Again, Eric's a lot younger player. But it's a type of player he is. You know, I mean, he's very coachable. He's tough. He's big enough and strong enough. Now, he's got a long ways to go technique-wise. So at the same time, I don't want to throw him to the wolves, and I want to be fair to him. But I think he can be a swing guy for us. You know, he's kind of at that third Leo spot right now, just because Maurice is coming off the broken foot, and CJ, although he's healthy, not nearly big enough and strong enough and weigh enough right now. He would simply be a spot player as a pass rusher right now, not an every down guy. Eric, to me, right now is an every down type of player, and that's why we want to, you know, try to throw a lot at him, and we're, you know, probably overwhelming him, but he's, you know, he hasn't batted an eye and he wants to do it.
All right, Coach.
Okay, thank you. Yep.